You know how it is. You leave stuff in the woods like a food cache or even your whole base camp. You go for a little walk and suddenly you can't find it. So let me show you how to find stuff. Well, with one method it's very important that you lose your stuff in the right way. Somewhere in these woods, maybe about 50-60 meters from here, there's one tree that has a very little string on it. The question is, how can you find it? How can you find stuff, small stuff in the woods? I'm going to show you. Okay, that was stupid, but I just wanted to make a point. The point being, there's trees everywhere and they look all the same. Now in this case I haven't done anything to enable me to find it. So in this case I'm going to take the very hard way of finding this, which really is the easiest way there is. And that is trusting in your own intuition. Trusting in the natural awareness that you have. It's not a skill that you can learn, it's a skill that you have to cultivate, wake up and cultivate. There are a few videos on my channel where you find me talking about that stuff. I'm not going to do that now, I'm just going to demonstrate it as one of the ways of finding stuff. So let's do it. I already somehow know that it is in that direction. So that's the direction I'm going to walk, and I'm leaving the camera on so that you don't start thinking that I'm looking around for it. We are just going to walk until I find it. So I hope you're not getting dizzy. I also hope you can still hear me, but I will subtitle it anyway. Now this method is all about following your I would say intuition or whatever. You get pulled to a certain area. Like now I just want to go to the left a bit more. It's not really something I can explain, but it just happens. Well, I know it's none of these very big trees, because that would be too easy, eh? It's one of those trees that there are hundreds of here. Alright, so I still feel I have to go down a bit more here. And then there is left again. And then I just simply know it's this tree. But I don't see a cord on it. Ah, here it is. So that's one way of finding stuff. So I can't tell a lot about that. If you want to experience things like that, well, you have to come over here and I will have you experience it. But we can actually be clever about it as well. Okay, instead of the cool spooky way, now we're going to do something that is a method. I put a little lighter at some tree trunk, stump really. It's pushed all the way under the moss, so you can't see it from where you're standing. Now this method requires that you really can find the area. The first thing I'm doing is finding the general area. I'm now at the general area. Okay, what did I do to hide this? I just have to do it again to find it. Maybe you see that fallen tree, the grey trunk that is leaning up against the bigger tree. Well, that's one of my clues. The other clue is there. Don't know if you can see it right, but there is a dark burned tree stump about man high. And those two I need to line them up. So this trick is about line of sight, right? So there it is. And there is the tree stump, the big one. But there was a third line of sight. That one will determine my place on this line that is between the stump and that one there. Ah, there it is. I don't know if you can see it. I will try to zoom in. Yeah, I think you can see it now. Yes, there it is. You see, there is a tree there where the bark is gone. It's very, very light on the trunk. Now that one, oh, I will zoom out. Otherwise, you really need a bucket. So I walk around, and now in that vicinity, you also see this very dark little piece of wood. I'm still walking on this line between the big trunk and the fallen tree. And about now, this dark little piece of wood is exactly in front of the light trunk. And I will try to zoom in. Yeah, there you see it, right? Sorry for the shaking, but you get the idea. Where two lines cross, that's a very good point. And I have defined two lines. That means that I'm now exactly on that crossing. The next step was, well, I hit it at the nearest stump. Well, let's just look around. There is one there, but that's not the nearest one. That is the nearest one. And you see, it is. Here it is. Yay. So that's a very simple method. Obviously, you might want to select objects that form your line of sight that are pretty permanent. If you lose one of your objects, that can be tricky. Yeah, well, obviously you can also just take a GPS, but that would be cheating. Much nicer to rely on your own metal, right? Well, that's it for me. I showed you two ways of finding stuff in the woods. Hope to see you in the next one. Don't forget to VaraVild. I left my backpack somewhere. I know it was about 20 meters from the place where the tree with the string was. Somewhere there, I don't know. Well, this is, I think the right word is ironic. So I have to go back to my very cool spooky way. Ah,